Hey, what's up guys? I just streamed Delta Force for 6 hours and I'm recording this video just after I ended that stream. It is 1:30 in the morning at the time of recording this. Just wanted to get my thoughts and first impressions about Delta Force out there immediately for you guys. The stream is incredible, probably over like 1,500 viewers at one point combined between Twitch and YouTube, so thank you guys so much for that. And of course, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel on this video if you plan on following Delta Force, because I'm going to have a ton of videos coming out this week. And just one more thing before I get into the first impressions. Today, December 5th, I'm going to be playing in a tournament in Delta Force, 32v32, going to be playing against people like Scump, Nadeshot, Landmark, Tens, and other professional players from other games. I have my own squad with Focus, who some of you may watch. He's a Battlefield player, and we're going to try to bring this stuff home. We can win RTX 4080s and other peripherals. It's going to be really cool. So check that out. 2 p.m. EST is when the tournament starts. I will obviously be live streaming it. So with all that stuff out of the way, what do I think about Delta Force after just playing it for about 6 hours straight, the release version? First of all, I think this game is definitely one of the better games on the market right now. This is a busy week for gaming. You know, Path of Exile 2 is coming out, Marvel Rivals is coming out, and Delta Force all in the same week. But Delta Force is going to hold its own. This game is going to really reach and captivate a lot of people, I think. And I had a lot of fun playing it on stream. The maps are not as great as I thought they would be, to be honest with you. I really don't enjoy some of the sectors. I think some of the sector design is actually pretty terrible, namely one of the last points on a map called Shafted. I think that map is, I don't know, I don't really like that map at all. And unfortunately, because people just, I guess, don't listen or are just unaware, this game's getting review bombed on Steam because there's no controller support, but this is the PC release. So I guess I just wasn't aware how many people actually play controller on PC. In terms of the gameplay, the movement changes are definitely noticeable. The game is smooth. You can perform a lot more actions per minute. They cleaned up a lot of the stance transitions and actions you can perform during stance transitions, and it really makes a massive difference in the gameplay. The weapon customization, again, is just really, really cool and in-depth. I find myself finding new builds all the time. In terms of the gameplay, there was some cool things that I noticed, namely on one of the city desert maps. I'm not sure what it's called, but you can blow up an entire point and actually remove the point from the map. You can collapse the warehouse, and then you can make a 2-point sector a 1-point sector after nuking it, which is pretty awesome. So that's some levolution right there. Some things that were annoying me during the gameplay was this game just has a lot of smoke right now. I'm not really sure what they could do besides like increase some ability cooldowns to help reduce the smoke spam and maybe restrict smoke access per class, emphasize playing the right class to have smoke grenades a little bit more. And obviously the big one for me was Luna's wall hack arrow, just so annoying. In my opinion, they should disable that ability until they figure out a way to rework it and then re-implement a different ability back into the game. I think it's that annoying. And the worst part about it is people don't even really know about it yet. This is just people hopping into the game for probably the first time playing that character and then just shooting the spotting arrow. Wait until people actually know about it and then start abusing it. Then it's going to get really annoying, and it already is. Another thing that stood out to me was, again, the gunplay. I've said this so many times. I think the gunplay really is a fundamental problem of the game. And if you watched my video where I interviewed the developer of this game, or the game director rather, he did acknowledge to me that he is aware that the gunplay is a problem. The engagement distances, or just how far your weapons reach out, that distance is way too far. I got a 130 meter kill with an SMG today. I mean, that is probably, I don't know, at least twice as far as you should be able to kill someone with an SMG, if not almost 2.5 or 3 times as far. So the engagement distances need to be reeled in, and the only way to do that is really reworking parts of the gunplay, and that's probably not going to be a popular choice for the developers or players. But that doesn't change the fact that it still is a massive problem. A lot of you guys will play this game and then notice you're just getting beamed from random angles super far away, and you're wondering like, oh my god, like how am I even supposed to know that person is over there, or how am I supposed to actually anticipate that angle? The answer is, well, honestly, it's almost impossible to. But jumping back to the maps, I played all of them multiple times during the stream. Shafted is not a favorite of mine. I think that map is actually pretty bad, especially on breakthrough defense. Maybe the map plays better on Conquest. I didn't get a chance to play it on that, but my initial impression is I'm probably going to leave every game I play if I get defense on that map. It's that bad. Trench Lines overall is probably the best map in the game. I think it plays well on both attack and defense and breakthrough, and it plays well on Conquest, so I'm pretty happy with that. And then the rest of the maps sit around that sort of like 6 to maybe 7 out of 10 range. Like I said, there are some frustrating areas, but they aren't the worst maps I've ever played in my entire life. Other things that I noticed while playing the game are just the screen shake and the aim punch or flinch. I think flinch could use about a 20% overall just flat nerf to that mechanic. I think it's really, really annoying. And screen shake just kind of needs to be removed from the game or heavily reduced. You can't even see what's happening sometimes when you get shot at by a tank. And I know some people are going to be like, well, you know, of course it's going to be pretty disruptive to be shot at by a big vehicle with a massive cannon, but you know, I really do think it gets in the way of gameplay, and I think on top of aim punch, it really just hurts the gameplay quite a bit. In terms of the overall enjoyability of the experience that is playing Delta Force, I definitely have more fun playing this game than 2042. Number one, the game just requires more skill. It really does. It's just a more difficult game. It's more engaging, but it isn't so difficult that it's not accessible, you know? Like, anyone can download this game and have a decent time, but the fact that the game has some depth available to it really does help its case, especially when compared to other games on the market. And I'd like to mention this for people that might not know. They did remove the AI from the game, so all the gameplay you're watching is me playing against real players in the server. So you don't have to worry about getting aimbotted through smoke like you were in the previous playtests. So you certainly don't have to worry about that. But overall, my release impressions and my first impressions of this game are pretty good. I wouldn't say it's like absolutely unbelievably incredible, but I do think that this is probably the best FPS game that offers an extraction shooter / battlefield mode on the market right now, bar none, especially considering it's free to play. And if you haven't tried it, it's absolutely worth a shot. There are some pretty glaring issues, but that's good, right? Because they're glaring and obvious, and the developers so far have been remarkably responsive to player feedback, and they really do emphasize communicating with their player base and, you know, looking at the data, listening to people in various forms of social media. So I do think because these issues are obvious and people are complaining about them, a lot of them will likely become resolved, and they're kind of just easy issues to fix. Like, the gunplay is probably the hardest and most complicated problem the game has. And I will address this at the end of the video because I think it is kind of a silly complaint. A lot of people are just sort of refusing to try this game or sort of acknowledge it as a legitimate game because they just think it's a copy of Battlefield 2042. For those of you that are maybe new to the channel, I played Battlefield 2042 for literally 2.5 years every single day. This is not Battlefield 2042. The games play completely differently. There are some obvious aspects inspired from modern Battlefield games, 100%, but in terms of the gameplay of the game, completely different video games. Delta Force plays much slower, much more angle-based. 2042 is a lot more, you know, free, and you can get away with a lot more stuff. And of course, the mechanics of the two games are just almost not even comparable. Like, Delta Force has a lot of stuff that would be seen in, you know, more tactical shooters such as aim punching, a bunch of screen shake, and the leaning, just more tactical milsim-ish mechanics. So those are going to be my first impressions of Delta Force. Remember, guys, tournament, 2 p.m. EST today, December 5th. Come by the stream. Going to try to win that tournament. If I do, it'll probably be a video. So thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know your first impressions of this game and whether or not the game not being released on console until, well, an undisclosed date next year is annoying you. Because, again, the Steam reviews, games getting review bombed because it's not on console or because there's no controller support. But, you know, developers have reiterated multiple times that controller support will come with the console release of the game. However, I do believe because the complaints are so adamant and, you know, numerous about this particular issue, they should expedite controller support to as soon as possible. I don't think there is a good enough excuse for them to hold controller support back just because they want to release it with the console version of the game. It's something that should be available in the game right now for people that want to play in controller, and there isn't a good reason for it not to be available for people right now. So those would be my closing thoughts. Come by the streams, follow the Twitch stream. I also stream on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you plan on following Delta Force. I'm going to have settings videos, weapon guides. I'm going to explain all the different weapons, stats, all sorts of videos for Delta Force, and of course news. So thank you guys for watching. Appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Let me detect first.